Welcome to HFY Galactic Stories, original science fiction tales, where humans face impossible odds, and the galaxy pays the price for its ignorance. Listen carefully. This is where legends are born. The Summit of Fools. The Celestial Assembly is there in space between 3 stars. This thing is really big. It is made of special metal that does not get all rusty and glass that never gets broken. The Zerathian Dominion has been using the Celestial Assembly for a long time, like 15,000 years, to get other species to do what they want. The walls of the Celestial Assembly have a lot of marks on them. There are marks from 463 kinds of aliens. Each mark on the Celestial Assembly shows when another group of beings gave up being free. Supreme Commander Velcros was standing in the middle of a room where everyone gathers. He is a Zerathian, so he is really tall, 12 feet, and his body is covered in silver scales. Supreme Commander Velcros has 4 eyes, which is helpful because he can see everything around him at the same time. The Zerathians, Supreme Commander Velcros people, have taken over worlds already, and they did this a long time before humans even knew how to make fire. Today is going to be easy for Supreme Commander Velcros. There is another group of people who do not know much. They need to learn where they fit in the universe. Supreme Commander Velcros is going to teach them. The humans had finally arrived. Velcros watched as 5 small humans entered the chamber. They looked so fragile, the humans did. The humans had no armor on their bodies. The humans had no claws or fangs to defend themselves. The humans lived for a century, which is a very short time. These humans were the beings who thought they deserved to walk among the stars as equals to beings like the Velcros. The person in charge of the group was David Chin. He was the ambassador for Earth when it came to talking to aliens. David Chin had been on a long trip to get to the meeting, and his hair had turned gray. You could see that David Chin had been under a lot of stress because his face had a lot of lines on it. He was worried about a lot of things. When you looked at David Chin's eyes, they were very calm and steady. Velcros started talking to the humans without saying hello. He did not want to be polite to them. We looked at your planet and your people. The Dominion has made a choice. You have to give us 65% of your people to work in our factories. Your army will not be allowed to exist. Your ships will be blown up. A governor from Zerathian will be in charge of your world to make sure you do what you are told. The other aliens in the chamber looked on with faces that showed they had seen this before. They had watched this same thing happen times. The young species always had a look on their face at first. Then the young species started to argue. After that, the young species would plead with the aliens. In the end, the young species would give in. That is how things are in the universe. The aliens who are strong are in charge. The aliens who are weak do what they are told by the aliens. David Chin did not look surprised at all. He just put his hand in his jacket, took out a little computer thing. Then he walked forward, put it on the floor between himself and Velcros. This has what humanity wants to say to Velcros about what Velcros wants from humanity, David Chin said. Velcros picked up the device with one of his hands. He looked at what was on it. He read it really fast. Then Velcros read the device again. This time he read it more slowly. After that, Velcros started to laugh. The sound of Velcros laughing was really loud. It filled up the whole chamber. It was like thunder. Soon the other Zerathians were laughing too. Some of the species that the Zerathians had taken over were laughing as well, but their laughter did not sound very happy. The human document was really absurd. It said that Earth should be completely independent. The humans wanted to make trade agreements with the Dominion where both sides were equal. They wanted to be friends and share their culture with the Dominion. All the humans were asking for was to be treated with respect and dignity. The humans actually thought they could talk to the Dominion as equals, which is pretty funny. The humans and the Dominion, they really thought they could negotiate together like they are peers. Velcros said this when he finally stopped laughing. You really think that is an idea? He asked. Your species is very young, it has only been around for 1,000 years. You have not even gone far from your own star. The things you use to fight are not very strong. Your spaceships are also very slow. Now you want to be treated the same as everyone else? Velcros was talking about equality for your species. David Chin did not change the way he looked. He said, we are not asking you for something. We are offering you something. We came to this place because we wanted to find friends there in space. We came with our hands open and our hearts open. We do not want to fight with you. We do not want to go to war with you. David Chin said, we will not let you take our people and make them slaves. David Chin said, we will not give up our freedom. The room just exploded with people laughing and making fun. Lots of voices were yelling out things in all sorts of languages. Some of the aliens were making faces and gestures that basically said the humans were crazy. Others were just shaking their heads because they could not believe what they were seeing. The humans and their behavior were the fun thing a lot of the aliens had seen in a really long time. The chamber and all the aliens in it were really enjoying the show the humans were putting on. Velcro squeezed the data pad in his hand until it broke into pieces. These pieces dropped to the floor like snowflakes. He said to the human, "Go back to your home. Tell your people what the Dominion wants from them. The Dominion is giving your people 1 year to get ready. When the Dominion ships come to collect things, your people should be ready. If your people try to fight back, the Dominion will destroy your cities. The Dominion will ruin your buildings. The Dominion will make your kids watch as everything they love gets burned to nothing." Velcro said this is not something the Dominion is saying to scare them. This is what the Dominion is going to do to them. David Chin bent down, picked up the pieces of the data pad that were broken. He put these pieces in his pocket. Then David Chin looked at Velcro's with his calm and steady eyes. I need you to listen carefully to what David Chin is about to say. The way he spoke made the whole room fall silent. The aliens who were making fun of him even stopped laughing. What he said was important. People had to listen to him. The man's voice had a lot of power. That is why everyone in the chamber was paying attention to what the man was saying. Chin went on to say, "We have taken a close look at your Dominion. We are aware of what you have done in the past. We know that you have made some worlds into slave worlds. We know that you have gotten rid of species when they would not do what you wanted. We know that a huge number of people have had hard lives because of you. We have seen the proof. We have listened to the stories of the people who lived through it. We have learned about the Dominion and what it does. The people of the Dominion have suffered a lot. The Dominion has a history that we're familiar with." He took a step closer to Velcro's. Velcro's is the commander and he stood 12 feet tall. For some reason the small human did not seem scared of Velcro's at all. "We came to this place because we really want to be at peace. We want to be friends with you. We think the universe can be a place if we all get along. We do not think it has to be about fighting and taking over all the time. We think that people who are different from each other can still respect one another. We are not stupid. We know what the universe is like and we know what you people do. We know what you are and what you do to others." David Chen's voice became really tough. He said, "I am telling you something and I am only going to say it one time. Do not think that just because the people of our group want peace that means we are not strong. Do not think that just because we are young that means we cannot do anything. Do not think that just because the people of our group do not have an empire that means the people of our group have no power. The people of our group have power and the people of our group will use it." He stopped talking. Let the quiet go on for a bit. "People have been fighting for long as we have existed. We have been at war with each other for thousands of years. We made things that can destroy our world many times. We know what it is like to be hurt and to suffer more than you can think. We learned about war the way you learn about music or painting. It is a part of our past. It is inside us in our blood, in humanity. Humanity has a history of fighting and it is just what we do." Chin said to us that they have something special to offer. This is a big deal. We get to be the big country to choose peace instead of trying to be in charge of everyone else. They are offering us the chance to be friends and work together. Chin wants us to take this offer because it is real and it is a thing. They really mean it when they say they want friendship and cooperation with us. His face turned really cold. "If you make us fight, we will keep going. We will not give up. We will not talk about it. The galaxy is a place, but we will follow you to the very end if we have to. I'm not trying to sound tough. I'm not just talking big. I am telling you what will really happen. You will be sorry if you make us do this. The galaxy will be the distance we will go to deal with you. You should remember that the galaxy is where we will pursue you." The room was totally quiet now. Every person in the room could feel how important this moment was. The chamber was really silent. Every being present could feel the weight of the moment in the chamber. David Chin said, "This is Earth's final warning. We do not want to fight a war. But we will not back down. Earth will not give in. Earth will not kneel down to anyone." For a second nobody moved. Then Velcro threw his head back. Laughed really hard. He laughed harder than he did before. "You think you can threaten me? That is funny. I'm talking about threats from humans which like threats from insects. How funny is that? Go home, little human. Have fun for the rest of your year of being free. When the Velcros come for your people, try to remember this moment. Remember when you had the chance to accept what is going to happen to you with dignity. The Velcros are going to come for your people. You should remember this moment." David Chin nodded slowly. He said, "I will remember this moment with David Chin. So will you remember this moment with David Chin?" He turned around, walked towards the exit. The 4 fellow ambassadors of the humans followed him. The aliens who were in the chamber watched the humans leave with smiles on their faces and smirks. The humans were people. They were brave. They were still foolish. What could the humans do against the Dominion, because the humans were primitive creatures and the Dominion was very powerful? The humans were no match for the Dominion. Velcros turned to his advisors. We need to collect a lot more from the humans, so increase the collection quota to 75%. The humans have to learn to respect Velcros and the way Velcros does things. They have to do what Velcros says. We have to get a punishment fleet ready. When the humans resist Velcros, Velcros wants to make a big example out of them. Velcros wants the whole galaxy to remember what happens when you do not listen to Velcros. His advisors bowed down. They started giving orders. This thing was finally settled. The Galactic Empire was going to break another species. The Galactic Empire would get another signature to put on the walls. The walls would have another signature of a species that the Galactic Empire broke. In the corner of the room, a young Zerathian analyst named Turin watched as the doors closed behind the humans. The other people were laughing. Not Turin. He had been looking at Earth closely for a long time, like several months. Turin had read about the history of Earth. He had also read the stories and ideas that people from Earth had written. Earth humans had fought wars and they had made some very bad weapons. Turin was still thinking about the humans. What he had learned about Earth and the people who lived there, the humans. Turin felt ice forming in his blood. He was really scared. He wanted to warn Velcros about this. Turin thought that maybe the humans were more powerful than they seemed and they should be taken seriously by the Dominion. Who was going to listen to Turin? He was a regular person, not important at all. Velcros was a hero of the Dominion. Velcros had won battles and taken over 17 worlds. Velcros was very smart. Knew what he was doing, so why would he listen to Turin? Turin stayed silent. He saw the people making plans to take over the Earth. The Earth was going to be taken over. Turin watched as the big ships that would collect things were being prepared. The Dominion was moving forward with the plan. They were very sure of themselves. Turin saw the Dominion doing all of this. He did not say a word. The Dominion was going to take over the Earth and Turin was just watching. 8 months went by after that meeting. The Dominion thought that humanity would give up before the time was up. Humanity did not give up. The Dominion decided to send some scout ships to scare Earth. The humans told them nicely to go. These scout ships went back to the Dominion. Said that Earth was not getting ready for a fight. It looked like the humans were not doing anything to get ready for war. The humans just seemed to be going about their business as usual. That was what the scout ships reported back to the Dominion about the humans. Many Dominion officers were really confused. They wanted to know where the defensive fleets were. What about the weapons platforms? Where were the fortifications to protect people? It seemed like humanity had just given up and was waiting for everything to end. The Dominion officers could not understand why humanity was not fighting back. They thought that humanity would at least try to defend themselves. It looked like humanity had accepted what was going to happen and was just waiting for the end to come. Velcros smiled when he heard these reports. He thought to himself that the people are really scared. Velcros knew that they are paralyzed with fear. The people know that they cannot win, so they have given up on everything. Velcros said that this is going to be easier than Velcros expected. What the Dominion scouts did not see was what was going on in the dark areas outside of human space. The Dominion scouts missed this. In the asteroid fields, past Neptune, something new was being made. This was happening in the dark. Deep inside rocks that were hollowed out, human engineers were working all the time. They did not take a break. The human engineers were building shipyards that the Dominion scouts could not find with their sensors. The human engineers were also building factories that made weapons that the galaxy had never seen before. The Dominion scouts did not know about these weapons. The human engineers were making these weapons in secret. The smartest people on Earth have looked at everything they could find that is made by the Zerathians. They have checked out the Dominion's weapons. Found out what is wrong with them. They have taken a look at the Zerathian ship designs and come up with ways to beat them. The Earth's greatest minds have studied 15,000 years of the military plans, and they are going to do something totally different with the Zerathian technology and the Zerathian military doctrine. People are really good at one thing: dealing with situations. For a long time humans have been fighting each other and getting better at it. They have come up with ways to hurt each other. Humans have thought of lots of plans and ways to fight that have gotten better over time because of all the fighting. Now humans are using all that stuff they learned to do one thing. Humanity is using all the knowledge they have to focus on this one thing. People were still praying that they would never have to use it. They were hoping that the Dominion would change its mind somehow. People still believed that peace was possible for the humans. Hoping for something is not a plan. So the humans got ready for the things that could happen while they were praying for the best things to happen to the humans. One morning the news came to Earth. It was terrible. The colony of Serenity Vale was gone. All those people, 800,000 of them were dead. The Dominion did this to show what they can do to the colony of Serenity Vale. The Dominion wanted to make an example of the colony of Serenity Vale. They did. The message from Supreme Commander Velcros was showing on every screen all over Earth. This is what the Dominion does to people who do not listen. The Dominion will make sure that this is what happens to you if you keep fighting back. You have a choice. You can give up now. The Dominion will destroy more of your colonies just like they did before. The Dominion will keep doing this if you do not surrender to the Dominion. David Chin was in front of the cameras for the time in a long time. The cameras of the world were on him. David Chin looked different now, his face looked older. David Chin's eyes were red because he had been crying. But when David Chin spoke, his voice was strong, it was like iron, it did not shake all. 300 days ago I stood in front of the Dominion. I said something important. I said we want to be at peace with them. I said we will be good friends, but if they are not nice to us we will be very bad enemies. The Dominion thought this was funny. They laughed at us. The Dominion did not take us seriously. Now I remember that they just laughed at us and the Dominion did not care about what we said. He took a deep breath. Today I have to tell the Dominion that they did something bad. The people who lived in Serenity Vale were ordinary people. They were farmers, teachers, doctors and kids. They did not bother anyone. The people of Serenity Vale did not hurt anyone. The Dominion still killed them to prove something. The people of Serenity Vale were people and they did not deserve to die. The man's hands gripped the podium tightly. He said, the Dominion wanted to scare us. Instead, the Dominion has awakened the Dominion's enemies. The people have remembered something that we wanted to forget. We had hoped that we would never have to use this thing. The Dominion has made us remember the thing that we tried hard to leave behind, the thing that we did not want to need again, the thing that the Dominion has now awakened in us, the people, because of what the Dominion has done to us. David Chin looked at the camera. To the Zarathian Dominion and to everyone who saw what was happening and did not do anything, you were told what would happen. You decided to ignore what you were told. You decided to hurt our people on purpose. You picked this road for yourself. The Zarathian Dominion picked this road. The Zarathian Dominion is responsible for what they did to our people. His voice became really cold. What happens now is not about getting at them. It is about making them pay for what they did. We will keep going until every single person who had something to do with Serenity Vale has to answer for their actions. We will keep going until the Dominion understands that humans are not weak and will not be taken advantage of. We will make sure the Dominion knows that humanity is not something to be messed with. The broadcast ended. Over the galaxy a huge number of aliens were confused. What could the humans do now? The humans were outnumbered by the aliens, with the aliens having 1,000 times people. The humans had no friends to help them. They did not have a fleet of spaceships to fight with the aliens. Supreme Commander Velcros laughed loud when he saw the message. He thought to himself, Supreme Commander Velcros said, let Supreme Commander Velcros' enemies come, they will die like insects because that is what they are, insects. Supreme Commander Velcros is not worried about them all. They are no match for Supreme Commander Velcros and his army. In the space between the stars something was moving around. There were these ships that nobody had ever seen before. These ships had these weapons that nobody had ever fired before. There was a group of humans who were waiting for this moment to arrive. The storm that everyone was talking about was finally on its way. The humans were waiting for the storm and the storm was coming to the humans. And the Dominion had no idea what was about to hit them. The reckoning. 6 months passed after David Chen's broadcast. The galaxy waited for humanity to attack. Every military base in the Dominion went on high alert. Every sensor array pointed toward Earth. Every commander prepared their fleets for battle. But nothing happened. The humans did not come. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. There was only silence from human space. No ships were detected leaving Earth's system. No communications were intercepted. No threats were made. It was as if humanity had simply vanished. Supreme Commander Velcros grew more confident with each passing day. They made their speeches and then they hid like frightened animals. The humans have realized they cannot defeat us. They are hoping we will forget about them if they stay quiet enough. His officers agreed enthusiastically. It made perfect sense. The Dominion had the most powerful military force in known space. They controlled 400 star systems. They had weapons that could shatter moons. What could one small planet possibly do against such overwhelming power? But Turin, the junior analyst who had worried about the humans, could not shake his unease. He requested a meeting with Velcros. It took 3 weeks before the Supreme Commander agreed to see him. What do you want? Velcros demanded impatiently. He was reviewing plans for the final conquest of Earth. He did not have time for nervous analysts. I am concerned about the human silence, Commander. It does not fit their psychological profile. They lost 800,000 people at Serenity Vale. They should be furious. They should be attacking in rage. But instead they are quiet. Completely quiet. Velcros waved a dismissive hand. They are terrified. They finally understand what they are facing. Their silence is the silence of defeat. But what if they are preparing something? What if they are building weapons we cannot detect? Their technology might be different from ours. What if our sensors are missing something important? The Supreme Commander leaned forward with irritation. Impossible. Our intelligence shows they have perhaps 300 military vessels. We have 12,000. Their weapons are primitive plasma cannons. Their shields barely stop asteroids. Even if they attacked with everything they possess, we would destroy them in hours. You worry too much, Trin. The humans are finished. Trin wanted to argue more, but he could see it was useless. Velcros had already decided the outcome. In his mind, Earth was already conquered. He was just waiting for the humans to formally surrender. The analyst left the meeting with a stone in his stomach. Something felt wrong. Every instinct he had developed over decades of intelligence work was screaming warnings. But no one would listen to him. Meanwhile, in the frozen darkness beyond Neptune, the truth was very different from what the Dominion believed. Admiral Sarah Okonkwo stood on the bridge of humanity's newest warship. It was called the Phoenix. It was half the size of a Zarathian battle cruiser, but it could move 3 times faster. Its weapons operated on principles the Dominion had never encountered. Its shields used technology that humanity had developed in the desperate months after Serenity Vale. Around the Phoenix, 500 other ships waited in formation. They were hidden inside a massive asteroid field, invisible to conventional sensors. Each ship represented humanity's absolute best efforts. Each one carried weapons designed specifically to counter Zarathian technology. Each crew had trained endlessly for the mission ahead. All ships report ready, Admiral, her first officer said quietly. We can begin the operation whenever you give the word. Sarah looked at the tactical display showing the positions of Dominion forces. For 6 months they had watched and waited. For 6 months they had let the enemy grow complacent. For 6 months they had prepared for this moment. She thought about the faces of Serenity Vale. The children who would never grow up. The families who died together. The people who had done nothing wrong except exist in the path of Zarathian cruelty. She thought about Supreme Commander Velcros laughing as he ordered their deaths. Send the message to all ships, Sarah said. Operation Reckoning begins now. Remember your training. Remember who we fight for. And remember that we are not monsters like them. We will show mercy where possible. But we will not stop until justice is served. The fleet acknowledged her orders. Then, like ghosts materializing from nothing, 500 human warships appeared on every Dominion sensor in the sector. They moved faster than anything the Zarathians had ever seen. They struck before anyone could react. The Dominion's 7th Armada was stationed at the Crimson Nebula. It consisted of 200 massive warships that had conquered dozens of worlds. Admiral Kreenex commanded the fleet from his flagship, a vessel so large it had its own artificial gravity. He was reviewing reports about the quiet humans when his sensor officer suddenly shouted in alarm. Unknown contacts. Hundreds of them. They just appeared from nowhere. Kreenex rushed to the tactical display. His 4 eyes widened in shock. Ships were appearing all around his fleet. They moved in patterns he had never seen before. Their energy signatures were completely unfamiliar. All ships, battle stations. Raise shields. Charge weapons, he commanded. But the Dominion ships were slow to respond. They had been at ease, expecting no threats. It took precious seconds for their systems to come online. The human ships did not wait. They attacked with devastating precision. But instead of the crude plasma weapons the Dominion expected, they used something entirely different. Focused particle beams that sliced through Zarathian shields like they were not there. Missiles that changed direction mid-flight and could not be intercepted. Electronic warfare systems that crashed Dominion computers and left ships blind. The Battle of Crimson Nebula lasted only 17 minutes. When it ended, the entire 7th Armada was destroyed or disabled. Not a single human ship had been lost. Admiral Kreenex's final transmission before his flagship exploded was a single word repeated over and over. Impossible. 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 News of the battle reached the Dominion capital within hours. Supreme Commander Velcros refused to believe the initial reports. He demanded verification. He accused his officers of spreading panic. But then more reports came in. Human fleets were striking across the entire sector. They appeared without warning, destroyed their targets, and vanished before reinforcements could arrive. The humans were using tactics the Dominion had never encountered. They did not fight in massive formations like traditional fleets. Instead, they struck in small groups that coordinated perfectly. They used the environment to their advantage, hiding in nebulas and asteroid fields. They hacked Dominion communication networks and spread false information. They targeted supply lines and command ships rather than engaging in direct slugging matches. Every principle of warfare the Zarathians had developed over 15,000 years seemed useless against this enemy. The humans fought like nothing the Dominion had ever faced. They were unpredictable. They were creative. They adapted constantly. And they were absolutely ruthless in their efficiency. Within 3 months, the Dominion had lost control of 50 star systems. Velcros threw more and more ships into the fight, but it made no difference. The humans seemed to know exactly where the Zarathian fleets would be. They ambushed supply convoys. They destroyed shipyards. They liberated slave worlds and armed the populations they freed. The species that the Dominion had conquered for centuries began to rise up. They saw that the mighty Zarathians could bleed. They saw that resistance was possible. Rebellions broke out across dozens of worlds. The Dominion's empire began to crack. Velcros called an emergency council meeting. His officers gathered in the war room, their faces showing fear for the first time in their careers. "How is this possible?" the Supreme Commander demanded. "They are primitives. They have no experience. How can they be defeating us?" Turin, the analyst who had warned about the humans, stood up slowly. "Because we did not listen, Commander. We did not take them seriously. We assumed their youth meant weakness. But we forgot something important." "What?" Velcros snapped. "Young species have something that old empires do not. They have hunger. They have adaptability. They have nothing to lose. We have fought the same way for thousands of years because it always worked. But the humans studied us. They learned everything about how we fight. Then they created something completely different." Trin pulled up tactical displays showing human attack patterns. "Look at this. They do not fight for glory or conquest. They fight with one single purpose: to make us stop. Every attack targets our ability to wage war. Every strategy is designed to end the conflict as quickly as possible. They are not trying to build an empire. They are trying to destroy ours." Velcros stared at the displays in growing horror. "How do we stop them?" "I do not know if we can," Turin said quietly. "We awakened something terrible. And now we are paying the price." The war continued for another 4 months. But it was no longer a war. It was a systematic dismantling of everything the Dominion had built. Human forces advanced steadily toward the Zarathian homeworld. They liberated every slave world in their path. They destroyed every military base and weapons factory. But notably, they did not massacre civilians. They did not burn cities for revenge. They fought with precision and purpose. Admiral Sarah Okonkwo sent messages ahead of her fleet. "Surrender the war criminals responsible for Serenity Vale and other atrocities. Accept terms of peace that guarantee freedom for all species. Do this and the killing stops. Refuse and we will come to your homeworld and take them by force." Many Zarathian colonies chose to surrender immediately. They handed over the officers who had committed crimes against other species. They opened their records to human inspection. They were treated fairly in return. The humans kept their word. Once a world surrendered and gave up those responsible for atrocities, they were left in peace. But Supreme Commander Velcros refused to surrender. He gathered the last of his forces at the Dominion homeworld. Nearly 3,000 ships formed a defensive wall around the planet. He broadcast a defiant message to the approaching human fleet. "You may have won battles, but you cannot take our homeworld. We will fight to the last ship. We will never surrender to primitives like you." The human fleet arrived 3 days later. But instead of attacking immediately, Admiral Okonkwo broadcast a message of her own. "Commander Velcros, we do not want to destroy your world. We do not want to kill millions of innocent Zarathians. We want only one thing: justice for those you murdered. Surrender yourself and the other war criminals. That is all we ask." Velcros laughed bitterly. "Come and take me if you can, human." The battle for the Zarathian homeworld lasted 6 hours. The Dominion threw everything they had at the human fleet. But it was not enough. Human ships danced through the defensive formations. Their weapons carved through Zarathian vessels with terrible efficiency. One by one, the last ships of the once mighty empire fell. But true to their word, the humans did not fire a single shot at the planet itself. They destroyed only military targets. They disabled rather than destroyed when possible. They captured escape pods and treated prisoners with respect. When the last Dominion ship fell, Admiral Okonkwo sent ground forces to the capital city. They moved through the streets with weapons ready but did not fire unless fired upon. Citizens watched in amazement as these humans walked past them without harm. The soldiers went straight to the command center where Velcros had barricaded himself with his loyal guards. The Supreme Commander had expected torture and execution. Instead, he was arrested and read his rights under Earth's justice system. He and 63 other Dominion officers were charged with crimes against sapient beings. They would face trial. They would be allowed to defend themselves. They would be judged by representatives from all the species they had harmed. The trials lasted 8 months. The evidence was overwhelming. Velcros and 27 others were found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment. Others received lesser sentences or were released when evidence proved they had tried to resist the atrocities from within. When it was over, Admiral Okonkwo stood before the Galactic Assembly. The same chamber where David Chin had issued his warning 2 years earlier. This time, every species in the galaxy was watching. Humanity did not want this war, she said. We came to you asking for peace and friendship. We were mocked and ignored. We were attacked and our people were murdered. We did what we had to do. She paused and looked around the chamber. But we did not come here for conquest. We did not come for revenge. We came for justice. And now that justice has been served, we offer the same thing we offered before: friendship, trade, cooperation, and peace. The Dominion is dissolved, she continued. All slave species are free. All conquered worlds are returned to their people. Reparations will be paid from Zarathian resources to help rebuild what was destroyed. Admiral Okonkwo's expression softened. We know many of you fear us now. You have seen what humanity can do when pushed to the edge. But please understand this. We do not want to be conquerors. We want to be neighbors. We want to build something better together. She held up her hand. This is Earth's promise. We will defend ourselves and our friends with everything we have. But we will not become what we fought against. We will not rule through fear. We will not force others to kneel. The choice is yours. Join us in building a galaxy where all species are free and equal. Or go your own way in peace. We will not force you. The chamber was silent for a long moment. Then one delegate stood and began to applaud. Then another. Then dozens. Then hundreds. The sound echoed through the ancient hall like thunder. The age of empires built on fear was ending. A new age was beginning. An age where humanity had proven that mercy and strength could exist together. An age where justice mattered more than power. And in a small cell on a secure facility, Supreme Commander Velcros sat alone with his thoughts. He remembered the day a small human had warned him. He remembered laughing at that warning. He remembered thinking that humanity was weak. He had been so terribly, catastrophically wrong. And now he would spend the rest of his long life remembering that one simple truth: humanity had given him a chance for peace. He had chosen war instead. And consequences had followed as surely as night follows day. The galaxy would never forget the lesson Earth had taught. Never mistake kindness for weakness. Never assume youth means helplessness. And never, ever ignore a warning from humanity. Because they only give it once.